sacrificed their jobs. Let me go back and printed thousands of stickers in their mailroom jobs to put my stickers up everywhere. So we were like guerrilla promotions. We didn't know what we was doing. And when the police officer came up to me with the joint on his book, he was like, "Yo, you fire." I was like, I mean, I'm sure that wasn't the word at the time, you dope or whatever.
Right.
I was like, yo, a police officer thought I'm lit. And this is when we thought police officers was high, right? Um, yeah. So that was a big deal for me. And then right after Track Masters in 3 weeks, we did like 3 demos, and I had a deal like right after that with Giant Warner Brothers. And the rest, all I want to say is history. You know, that deal didn't last long. That was the Give 'Em the Finger album, but I did, because I didn't want to be there. You know, it was an R&B label. They had Jade, they had Color Me Bad. Finesse was there before me, but Finesse had left, and Lord Finesse. And that's the irony of my life, right? And I asked for a release because I would look at other labels that had a bunch of hip hop groups, and they would piggyback off of each other. And so when I realized that I didn't have that access at my label, I wanted off. I wanted to be on a label that either had a Wow Pitch or Select Records or Profile, where hip hop was able to thrive because they piggyback each group off of one another. So Latifah helped me get off that deal. Shout out to Latifah, because it was hard. And then I started working on my second album, the demos for my second album.
So let's go back to your first album. Did you were you pleased with that album? Give him the finger.
So I absolutely was pleased with that album, and I didn't even know, like, every day in my DMs there's like London, Germany. There's a video I put up recently of people in Korea dancing and checking out the Avenue, which was my very first single. I always tell people we didn't know what we were doing at the time. We knew that we were doing something that we loved. We didn't know it could be a career. We didn't know there could be millions of dollars from it. We knew that we really liked rhyming, and we liked the culture of rap, and we liked the instant gratification of our peers saying, "Yo, that's, oh my God, that's a dope song." I was pleased with the album because dreams came true on that album. OC was in OC, and I from Digging in the Crates crew were very close, and he was in the studio with me while I was making the album. And Fatal took me to Pudgee Rap's house, and Pudgee Rap, who I had modeled myself after, like, to me, he was one of the God No Higher MCs. He took me to his crib, and then I got G-Rap on the album. You know, then Latifah was working with Tony Dofat, and Dofat did a song for me, and he had this stuff for Heavy D. These were people, and shout out to Heavy D, because Heavy D was kind of one of my mentors, you know. I love that album. That album is what made people, the people who cared about me on the mixtapes, care about me on that album and care about my contribution to hip hop, even to this day. So what can you say about something that you wanted to do and you did?
You're one of the few artists that can actually say they knew Tupac and Biggie. What was your relationship like, and how did you meet Notorious B.I.G.?
Well, you know, I'm from the Bronx, which is right on the border of Mount Vernon. My cousins lived in Mount Vernon. I was always in Mount Vernon. I knew Puff forever. And we all ran in the same circles. So I met Big through, like, one of my friends. I don't even remember, Mace, Big L. New York is a culture where if you fire, the circle is this small. You know what I mean? The fire people exist within here. All of this is the outside people that are not fire hip hop, or that are just dying to be down or whatever. But the fire people is in here. So Biggie's here, Big L is here, Big Pun, Fat Joe, Lord Finesse, Showbiz and AG, OC, you know, Black Moon, Smith. This is it right here. Biggie and I met, and instantly the respect for hip hop was there. This was before either one of us had a deal. And we were both funny. We were both sarcastic. And he would call me and say funny shit on the phone and tell me things that we both needed to pay attention to in hip hop. And there's still some things that he said to me in the midst of the beef with he and Pac that I have yet to let go of, because I don't want to get caught up in the salacious offerings that people are doing. Everybody wants to be relevant because they say something that they know behind the scenes. That's not what I want to do. That's not what my relationship with Pac or Big was like. I had relationships with DMX, Butterfly from Digable Plans, very close relationships. I got letters from DMX from jail in the beginning. I've known these people when they didn't make records. So a lot of people don't know, because I'm kind of a private person. My friendships are not for public consumption, because I've always felt that once people know that y'all are friends, it changes the dynamic of the relationship. I've told this story before, so I'll tell you. Pac and I knew him. God bless Stretch from Live Squad, rest in peace. He used to mess with my homegirl, who, I don't even know if she want me saying this, but she was from another rap group. And he was at her crib. I was at her crib. She was like the girl who, she's a female rapper, but she kind of brought everybody together. She cooked crazy, so everybody would be at her crib. You know, whatever these dudes, Ed Lover, all these, you know, all the people that was relevant knew her. So one day Stretch and I was in there, and I was playing him a demo I was working on. He was like, "Oh, this is fire. You gotta start giving me your stuff." So one day I did Checking Out the Avenue, and I was like, "Yo, let me play you this joint. I'm not sure about it," as the first single. I just got my deal. I mean, my deal happened so fast that the songs were coming like nothing. And it was like, yo, as soon as you get these last two songs, the album coming out. So Frankie gave me Checking Out the Avenue. I did the demo in Alex Richburg's house from Trackmasters. I came back to my homegirl's house, and Stretch was there. I played it for him. He was like, yo, I need a copy of that, you know, and it wasn't, you know, again, I love rhyming, but it wasn't what everybody made. You know, when you see them react, he was like, huh? I was like, living in the big city is where I come from, not the slums, but where poor is many more. It didn't make me, I was like, I'm just talking the real shit. So he played it for Pac, but Pac was just starting to dance for Digital Underground. He was not a rapper. He was writing poetry secretly in his, you know, in his crib, but he wasn't a dancer. So he heard the demo, and Stretch called me like, yo, my man Pac want to meet you. He in love with this song. I was like, okay. So we ended up going out to Atlanta, and we all met up, and Pac just ran up and hugged me like, yo, that song is back. I was like, oh, okay. Like, but again, hip hop was new. Rap was just rap to us. I was like, he liked the song. You know what I'm saying? But then when he started coming to New York, he would call me. We would go places, hang out. And there's this one time he started to get bigger as an artist. And again, these are your friendships, right? It's like being with your brother or your cousin. I had no idea that Tupac meant something. It was Tupac. Like Tretch I'm sure feels the same way. It's Tupac. You next to these people all day, you're like, that's Tupac. Okay. We went to Queens Day, and he was like, yo, meet me in Queens Day, blah, blah, blah. I'll call you when I get there. I went to Queens, and in Queens Day is in Corona Park. It's like this huge park, and or Flushing Park, one of them joints. You have to Flushing Park. And it's mad people there, and it's almost like a festival. So finding your people is kind of difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like a big ass park. So he calls me, and I just see mad people. So I don't know. I'm like, yo, where you at? We informed me. Where you at? Where you at? He's like, I'm right here. I don't see nothing. I just see, it had to be at least 30 dudes just standing there. So he's like, I'm right here. And all of a sudden, I was calling him Moses after this. All of a sudden, the dudes parted, and Pac comes walking down. And it was hysterical because people screaming. And I'm like, why are they screaming? It's just Tupac. Like, it's crazy. It was the same thing with Biggie. Like when people would come to me and say, yo, how is it knowing Big? I'm like, what? You live with brothers and sisters, girlfriends, wives, you got your kids. I guess people place value on them, but to you, they just who they are, who they've been. The biggest part of knowing Pac and Big to me was being in the middle of a strained relationship. You know what I mean? Um, I valued them both. They both were very important people in the sense of my place in hip hop and keeping me focused on what I wanted to do in hip hop. And when they started to have a rift, I would have each of them on the line saying stuff. And I'm a person that if I know that both of y'all are the firecracker and telling you what the person said is not going to help heal the situation, I'm just not going to say anything. So I was like a sponge, just absorbing all the crazy shit from both sides. And it was intense. It was intense. I started to get paranoid, you know, especially after the shooting, because when you're friends with high profile people, you never know who's gunning for you. So I felt like I'm gonna just fall back and mind my business, you know, and try not to, even when somebody's venting to you, the wrong, I know what you're saying, can be taken as, even Pudgee agrees with me that you a piece of shit. So it was a very hard place managing, being a friend to somebody who's mad at the other person, and it's not just a regular beef like they mad that you bought the same sneakers. This is on some, I want to kill that person, this person might have tried to get me killed type of situation. So that's a whole nother place of being, and it kind of made me withdraw and not want to go places or be around stuff that had nothing to do with the music, because everybody knows, and I still say it to this day, I'm just about the music. I don't care about the parties. I don't care about your going to your mansion. I don't care about none of that. All I care about is the music. If we can make music, and like this right now, somebody put up a post like, producers and artists, we've been preparing for this isolation shit for days, because I'm in my house all day recording and getting ready to put it out. I don't even really feel it like other people feel it, because I've conditioned myself to stay focused on recording. And I record other people. You know, I'm working with a female Essence, Pyrex, Plat, Sweet Tea, Christina Lowe, who's logged in here somewhere. I work with those people, but outside of that, I don't want to be in the club. I'm not looking for that. If I don't have a purpose there, even when I see other people working on their music, I'm wishing I'm home working on music. You know what I'm saying? If you perform and I'm like, damn, I need to be working on my shit. So yeah, that's where I'm at with all of that. The Phat thing and Big thing kind of is like me now. I just tried to stay focused on the music.
When they both passed away, did you withdraw from music at that time?
Oh, well, I'll never make no bones about saying when Phat when when Pac died, I cried in my mother's lap for like 4 hours. Period. That was my guy. Like, if there was, like, a lot of people talk about the song "Hit 'Em Up," and this is what kind of made it even more tense for me. He made the song "Hit It Up," and then Biggie and I, like this, we got a song together. We had a song before that together with Red Bandit. With, I don't know if people know, but there's a song on YouTube. It was Red. Shout out to Red Bandit. You know, shout out to the people who celebrated me before I got deals. Red Bandit put me, Positive K, Grand Poobah, Biggie, Snaggerpuss, all of us on the song called "All Men Are Dogs." You know, and it's on whatever. So Biggie and I had a super long history. It was hard for me to deal with the fact that Pac really died. That's like, is this real? It's kind of like Corona, right? You like, is this happening? So when I found out it was real, I was devastated. That's like one of my only real valid friends in the business. And then you have people who were at odds with him, so they would say fucked up things, you know, like good, or, you know, or be like whatever. And that hurts, you know, so whatever. Then Biggie passing was dumb for me, because I tell people, if you've been in hip hop and been around hip hop as long as, you know, the LLs and the Sweet Teas and myself and the people that came after them in that whole era, we didn't see to it was all, I don't want to say invincible, but it was like rappers were left alone. Thank you, NY Shotty. who said Think Big is a classic. You didn't believe rappers that could get killed. You know what I'm saying? You had Dougie Fresh, you know, his peoples got killed. Barry B, from correct. But rappers weren't getting murdered in the time that we had been crafting and building hip hop. It was almost like the basketball players. When people see you doing positive stuff, they leave that alone and they go deal with the other people. So that was a whole place. When Pac died, then Big died. It was unreal because the two people that are beefing are no longer here. I was at the Source Awards with the Suge and sitting in front with the Suge and the Puff. This is a culmination of events. You know what I'm saying? So when you see things building up and you see it coming to a cap, it's almost unbelievable. You're saying to yourself, all right, you know, I seen him at the Source Awards. I'm sitting in the back. I'm watching this. You know, I'm behind all the other artists that are on the level of myself or larger than myself. We're all witnessing. So, you know, this happens. So I know it's not fake, but it's going to get resolved like other hip hop beef. That's where my head was at. But when you get to the point where you're getting a call that one of the people involved in this epic hip hop beef is dead, you start to say, oh shit, it's real. Then when the other person they're beefing with is murdered, it's really real. What, to add to what you're saying, those made me withdrawn, but they made me conscious of the impact we have as hip hop artists and how hip hop was starting to spill out into the real world. Because hip hop was just a different world outside of music. Yes, we affected you with our songs, but they didn't clash in that way. You know what I mean? It got real for me when I was with Left Eye out in LA and we were working on her album, and she had got the vocals from Pac's mother for this song called Untouchables. And she was like, yo, I'm gonna have you, I remember this, crazy. We were on the way to the Mondrian Hotel. We sitting in a black excursion. I'm driving, and she says to me, I'm in the driver's seat because I'm driving, but we parked. So she's talking to me. She's looking through her Motorola Time Port, I believe it was at the time. And she's like, I got the vocals from Pac's mother, and this is the closest way I could put y'all back together since you lost him. You know what I'm saying? Because she was close to him as well. She was like, I'm going to let you write my verse on the song so we all connected. I wrote it, wrote like 4 other songs on the album. She's about to drop the album. She gets into a beef with L.A. Reid. He's like, I'm not going to put the album out domestically. We can release it internationally, but I'm not putting it out, whatever. She and I in Manhattan with Adrian and a couple of other assistants. And she's like, yo, when I come back, shit crazy. She's like, when I come back from Honduras, we're going to work on a few other songs to add to the album. Left Eye goes to Honduras. Everything's regular. We waiting. And I'm kind of anxious because I want this album to come out and win. Because she's connected me to Pop. She's Left Eye from TLC. I've known her from the beginning. We did a lot of, was it Live Aid? One of them joints, one of them AIDS foundations. I have pictures of us in the very beginning when we young people doing contributions for the AIDS epidemic. And so it was kind of like a cathartic thing for me. You know, Left Eye was very close to Pop. I'm very close to Pop. We making it happen. It's kind of our tribute to him. She goes to Honduras. They say she's dead. That shit was like,
wow.
It's not even, it's like fake. It sounds fake. Biggie, Pac, Left Eye. It sounds fake. It don't sound like a true story. So when they told me, I was like, it gotta be fake. I just left her. We were just in Manhattan on 23rd Street at a restaurant, and she said some slick shit to me, and I was like, yo, Lisa's an asshole. Da, da, da. Like, we would be like, it's another point that when you think that you can save the feelings you got for somebody that's fucked up and fuck with them later or fix it later, and the person ain't there to ever fix it again, you like, oh shit. So it definitely changed the way that I treat people. It changed the way that I value my friends. It changed the way that I fix an issue with you. If I don't fuck with you in the moment, but it's something we can